welcome back to the good screen, where we take a break from the bad screen and look at the good screen, which is our televisions, movie screens, handheld consoles, and computer screens. My name's Russell. That was super low energy. Let me try that again.
Okay.
Hey, everyone.
No, it's nice on the wiggles.
No. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the good screen, where we take a break from the bad screen and look at the good screen.
Wow.
I don't even know what our thing. Why am I even doing this? I'll see you later. I'm out of here.
Oh, bye, Russell. Russell's walking away. Russell's gone. I guess it's just me now. Well, hey, everyone. Welcome to the good screen. Home of the good screen. Can I take your order?
I'm back. I flew in through the window.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why the door didn't open again. I definitely didn't open and close the closet door.
No.
Hi, I'm Russell.
I'm Lauren.
I think we've established that. Wow. Today it's not Halloween anymore.
No, it is November.
Finally.
You know what we should have watched?
What?
V for Vendetta.
I don't think so.
Remember the 6th of November or whatever? That's today.
That is today.
That is today, George.
That is today.
Or was it the 5th of November?
It's the 5th of November.
Damn
sounds
it.
like
We missed it.
you didn't remember.
I didn't remember. I remember the 21st night of September.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a week before my brother's birthday.
Okay. Cool. Well, today I'd like to say we were done with the Halloween movies.
It's not a Halloween movie.
It felt like it.
No, it's a monster movie, but that doesn't mean it's a Halloween movie.
All right. Well,
there's no mention of Halloween.
I mean, there were no mention of Halloweens in 3 of the movies we watched in Halloween month.
Like what?
Evil Dead, Wallace and Gromit, and Children of the Corn.
It's not a Halloween movie.
So this month is called Lauren Month.
Lauren Month.
Because before we did Halloween movies, it apparently I chose everything.
You did.
So once we got our little spreadsheet open, I was like, okay, for November you can just pick all. I think there's 5.
4.
4?
Yeah, I think there's only 4.
4 movies for November because apparently I pick everything.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, so Lauren picked Interview with a Vampire.
For my first one.
For her first one, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So
yeah,
before we start talking about that, let's do our normal, like, what have you been enjoying on the good screen besides the kind of semi-prelude topic that we have?
You know what? That is a very good question.
What did you watch this week? House of the Dragon's over.
The House of the Dragon's been over.
Yeah.
We watched a lot of baseball.
We did watch a lot of baseball.
That's mostly the only thing I watched this week.
Was
Baseball.
sadness?
Yeah, depression.
Yeah,
it was looking real good, and then it looked real not good. And then it was really not good.
Yeah. We are recording this on Sunday. Well, we already established this, the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, the baseball season's over. Our home team did not win.
No, they did not. They had no chance.
No chance.
No. So.
In 2 years, when we find out the Astros cheated again,
yep.
We will be the first people to report it on our podcast that gets 10 listeners.
We will.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all you've really been enjoying on the good screen, the horribleness of sports.
Yeah, I've been sewing a lot this week. So
okay.
I haven't been looking at the good screen as much. I've been listening to other podcasts, I guess.
That doesn't involve a screen.
It involves my phone screen.
True.
Because I listen to it on my phone.
What other podcasts are you listening to?
I have been listening to... Well, this week I really only listened to Someplace Underneath.
Ooh.
Which is these 2 women who... It's not like... It's true crime-esque, but it's mostly they do informative podcast series about missing people in like an effort to help bring awareness and whatnot.
Isn't Isn't a missing persons case a crime?
Most of them are older.
Oh.
Yeah. There are some like current ones that they touch on, and then some of them are just topics as a whole. Like they did a series about like pageantry.
Like child pageant?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, they touch on a lot of stuff like that, like icky things. Just to bring awareness to them, and they're both very funny.
Okay.
And I also listened to the
Doesn't
last
sound
podcast.
like it should be funny.
Well, no. I also listened to the last podcast on the left.
Okay.
And they did some fun stuff for Halloween recently.
All right.
And I also like to listen to SVU Pod, Especially Heinous.
Okay.
They're very funny. They like recap SVU episodes and talk about the crime they're based on.
You stopped watching SVU.
I did, but they're starting from the beginning. So it's kind of like I'm rewatching it as I listen to them.
Wow.
Yeah. But that one I usually hold off on listening to for like a month or two at a time so that I can binge it when I sew.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. What have you been doing on the good screen?
I've been doing a lot. I have a lot to say, and get ready.
Okay.
I won't have anything to say when we talk about the movie, so.
Okay.
Our good friend, listener, Will Party.
Yeah?
Here's a little story, okay?
Okay.
On Monday or Tuesday? Was it Monday? It was Monday. Yeah, it was Monday, because you were in Reading that day.
Okay.
I followed one of those Twitter accounts that like shows you sales, and they showed me that PS5s were in stock at Target or Best Buy or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh no, it was a direct thing. And I was
Mhm.
like, well, shit, now's the time. And then I really thought about it. I was like, no, I'm an Xbox fan. And
Mhm.
I was telling him about it, and he goes, hey, you can just borrow mine.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, all right. So I'm borrowing Will's PlayStation 5 while he's in Mexico.
Yeah, he's going out of town for a while.
Yeah, so yeah, I played Astro's Playroom.
Yeah, that was really cute.
That was very cool.
I really enjoyed watching you play that.
Yeah, it was like a showcase of the controller.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of like games that used to come with this, like Wii Sports, because it showcased what the controller could do.
Yeah.
And it was also like there was it was like kind of like a pat ourselves on the back kind of like,
Yeah.
we're PlayStation and this is our brand identity, and
Yeah.
look at all our quirky references and all the
Well, you
trophies.
knew all of them.
I knew all of them. Like
Yeah,
I used
I was
to be
really
a Sony
surprised.
guy. I used to be a big PlayStation fan.
Because like as you go around the levels, you'll find little spots where they're like these little robots.
Yeah.
And Astro is one of the robots. I don't know if they're all called Astros.
I
or
have
if
no
he's just
clue.
Astro. Anyway, there's all
They're
these little
bots.
There's all these little robots, and you'll find one with a camera pointed at someone, and usually it's a game reference, like they're filming the little reference or whatever.
Yeah.
And every single one we came across, you knew what it was.
I even knew the Super Stardust HD one.
I was very surprised, and I guess impressed.
I also
'cause I never
realized
heard
the
of
one
any
with
of
the
those
scissors
games.
was the Puppeteer from the PlayStation 3. It was a move game.
Okay.
PlayStation move game.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be in the PlayStation early-ish, late-ish PlayStation 3 era. I was a big PlayStation fan.
Mhm.
And then I couldn't afford a PS4 right away, so that kind of dwindled down. And by the
Derailed,
time I
yeah.
got that was my anime game console.
Mhm.
Yeah. Unfortunate. Well,
No, I don't think so.
No, I shouldn't say that. So yeah, so I've been enjoying that. We also played, I played Ape Escape, even though that's a PlayStation 1 game, because Will has the premium PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
And then we both played a little bit of the Harry Potter game, the Lego Harry Potter game. So that was that. I bought a bunch of games this week. But
You did. None of them are PS5 games.
none of them are PS5 games. And I know one of them I'll probably... You know what? No. I know what I'm talking about next week. I don't have it yet. So many games.
Such a game.
Such a game time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is. Yeah. Crazy. Too many games. The convention, they're right.
There's too many games.
There are too many games.
I just like too many games for all the other booths they have.
Yeah.
Like I'm wearing earrings right now that I got at Too Many Games.
Yeah, when we next year when it's Too Many Games time, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. I might just go one day of the week.
We can just go one day. We don't have to go the whole
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, lots of big game time. Big bumping.
Yeah.
Big bumping games.
Big bumping games.
All right, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been enjoying. I watched a little bit of Futurama yesterday. And
Okay.
something else, but I'll probably talk about them later. So I think we're making pretty good time. Why don't we start talking about our first little topic? Little as in like this might be like a combination.
Yeah, like
Even
a
though-
2-in-1 episode.
Yeah, even though it's Lauren month. Like
Well, I ended up enjoying the movie, so I don't mind talking about it.
yes. And that's what I was thinking because I wanted to go we wanted to go see a movie in the movie theater.
Yeah.
At least I did.
Yeah.
And we went to go see Black Adam with The Rock. Lauren's already.
Sorry, we had a really big
He had
breakfast
a
at a
big
diner.
breakfast, yeah.
And daylight savings time was last night, which means I definitely overslept.
You oversleep every day.
I oversleep every day, but I especially overslept last night because I got up at 7, which normally would have been 8.
Yeah.
But I stayed up late to watch the game. I stayed up until the 7th inning at like 11.
Yeah. I woke up at 4.
Oof. Well, you woke up before then too.
I woke up before then. Oh God. I'm dog sitting again.
Yeah.
So not that it's a bad thing. It's just that the sleep is never adequate.
No.
So yeah. So last week, I was like, let's go see a movie, Lauren. We haven't gone to a movie theater since we saw Nope.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go see a movie. I didn't want to do the podcast. And then we're watching the movie, and Lauren's writing stuff down.
I started writing stuff down.
I was like, we haven't even watched the actual subject of this week's podcast yet. Lauren was like all in on like, I'm like sitting there like enjoying The Rock saying funny things.
Yeah.
And Lauren is writing stuff down. So we went to go see Black Adam, which
Yeah.
I noticed. Which I noticed.
Which you noticed.
Which I
hope
mentioned.
you noticed.
Which I mentioned before.
Yeah.
Well, let's just do a quick like. I'll look at the recording, like 5-10 minutes or so. What did you think about Black Adam, Lauren?
I liked it a lot.
I did too.
Yeah, that's why I started writing stuff down because I was like, we should definitely talk about it.
It was goofy. There was a lot going. There were a lot of superheroes.
Yeah.
And
a lot of like, illusion's not the right word, but because it takes
References?
place in the DC universe,
yeah,
we saw Amanda Waller,
yeah,
which means the Suicide Squad exists in this movie, including
Right.
John Cena, which means we might see John Cena in a fucking
Peacemaker and Black
Peacemaker
Adam.
in a Black Adam movie or
Now that
Shazam
would
or
be
something. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because when she showed up, I was like, oh my god, it's all the same universe. Because I know DC
Yeah.
movies can be weird.
Yeah.
They're not like how the Marvel's on the same timeline the whole time now. Like DC movies are a little different.
Yeah.
Because it's just the properties mostly. But it seems like they're creating a little universe.
They're trying a little bit.
I like theirs so far though.
Yeah.
I like theirs a lot more than Marvel.
Mhm.
Mostly just because it's funnier, and I really liked the Suicide Squad.
The
And
Suicide Squad was
Peacemaker.
really good.
It was
and
really good.
Peacemaker show, yeah.
I
I think DC is, although they do have the whole like HBO just cancel shit or Warner Brothers just
Yeah.
cancel shit.
Well,
Like
didn't
the
they
stuff.
get bought out by someone? Didn't they buy someone?
I don't know.
Something.
I don't. It doesn't matter. But yeah, like the stuff that they do have is like really fun to watch and interesting. And it's not just like, well, that happened moments.
Yeah.
There was no that just happened moment in this.
No, it was
movie.
very straightforward.
Like I thought the Atomic Man or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
the guy who grew.
Yeah.
I thought he would have a little quip here or there. No.
No, he was mostly just horny for the windy girl.
Yeah, and he was comic relief, but it wasn't like in your face. Like
he was like awkward kid.
he didn't like look at the screen and go, "Let me tell you how I got here."
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm glad none of that happened. It was a very straightforward movie, and it was
Yeah.
very refreshing
Yeah.
compared to like because you don't have to know anything about this movie before you go see it. Like it helps.
It does
like
help.
especially with like the Amanda Waller part because like I
Yeah.
haven't seen Shazam,
That was a nice little reference, but like
yeah. Well, it's not a reference. It's like a connection.
connection. Sorry, nice
It's
little.
more than that.
Oh, is that a Marvel reference?
No, it's a lot more than that. Because I didn't realize until like halfway through when the Shazam part was even mentioned. Because at first I thought his lightning bolt looked similar. I didn't really think anything of that, though.
He's like the anti-Shazam.
I guess so, yeah.
But they're all part of the same, like, the Wizards.
Mm-hmm. Well, I haven't seen the Shazam movie, but I've heard it's really good.
We have to watch. It is really good, yeah. That was like the first DC movie that I watched, and I was like, huh. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing ads for it and thinking that it looked weird.
It's a goofy movie.
Yeah.
But it's just the way they did it and certain parts like closer to the end.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm. Well, Delilah's boyfriend Cam, that's like his favorite series. He collects all the comics.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does he go Shazam every time he gets in his car?
I don't know, but that would be really funny if he
in
did.
his car for some reason.
I hope so.
He has his two hands on the wheel. He's just like, his head is down. I'm describing what I'm doing right now. His head's down. He looks up really quick and he goes, a Shazam! And he turns his car on and he drives off.
Well, if he doesn't before, I hope he certainly does now.
Did you know that they used to call, like, Shazam's old name used to be Captain Marvel, and then Marvel was like, you can't have what? And there was like a lawsuit and everything.
Really?
Yeah, so they had to change his name to Shazam.
I kind of like that a lot more though because it's silly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but I'm changing the subject now.
Oh, you're going back to your questions?
Yeah. Well, it's not really questions. It's more of like just the things that I thought were funny.
Okay.
Literally right before we went into the movie theater, we were eating dinner.
Yeah.
And I told Russell, for some reason, I've had Paint in Black stuck in my head.
Oh, yeah.
But only that first part, because I think that's the coolest part. I think the rest of the song sucks. I only like the beginning part.
Yeah.
And then it fucking comes on in the movie, like near the beginning, like within
really
the first
close.
third.
Yeah.
When he like comes out and he's like going through
zapping people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was first like out of his tomb or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I liked the soundtrack.
It wasn't in your face. It wasn't like Shrek.
No, it wasn't in your face. I thought it was funny. Yeah, and like pretty appropriate.
What did you think about the visual effects compared to like the most recent Marvel movies? Because a lot of people have been pointing out that they were better.
DC's are better?
Yeah, DC's are better. Did you feel that?
Well,
with your eyes? Did you feel the graphics?
I haven't watched a lot of the more recent Marvel stuff that's come out just because there's so fucking much, like all the Incredible Hulk stuff.
Like Thor, the most recent Thor got
oh yeah, that
critiqued.
Was very uncanny.
Yeah.
I think we even talked about it too. I didn't like it in that one. It was very funny and weird.
I thought Black Adam
it was really good.
The color correction.
Yeah.
I think the first Shazam movie was when DC finally got the color correction right in their movies, and they stopped being like drab and gross and a little more colorful and like more fun. And they even in Black Adam, which was like edgy, like basically the shadow to the Sonic.
Yeah.
They got the colors right, and it was still vibrant and fun. Yeah.
And they were also, I was kind of, they were in some sort of like deserty country.
Yeah, like a.
But
fake
they didn't really
country.
give it like an orange filter.
No, they didn't.
It just looked normal.
They weren't in Mexico.
No, I guess it wasn't Mexico. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That like a fake city that he lived. It reminded me of Egypt. Like Egypt
I think that's
area.
what it was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be like Egypt.
Like Egypt, like ancient Mesopotamia type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, but the other thing that I thought was funny was Justice Society.
That's a thing.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
I thought it was like wannabe Justice League.
It's like I think it's like the higher tier, like special operations sort of. Same thing with the Marvel movie. I'm gonna say it. I'm not a DC super fan.
Yeah.
So I'm just explaining all this stuff out my ass from what I remember.
That's fine.
So when Joe DC himself comments on our podcast,
when the guy
and
whose
says,
uncle works at DC.
Yeah, when he comments and says, "Well, actually, the Justice Society is." Yeah.
That's what I hear.
I think it's similar to like the Illuminati in Marvel, where they're not the Avengers, but they kind of like control the big things going on in the background. But this wasn't really in the background at all. Like everyone knew they were around.
Yeah.
And they made their presence known. I need a drink. Keep talking.
Okay, I'm gonna keep talking. I I really liked the villain,
Yeah.
Serac. At the end,
Oh yeah, he was.
he turned into a big, sexy monster.
That's how every
I thought
DC
he was
movie ends, with a
extremely
big sexy monster.
Here, Serac with a bunch of the spicy emojis.
Yeah.
I thought he was hot. The other thing I had to say was, do you think they were speaking English the whole time?
Oh yeah. So he learns English very quickly.
Well, I'm assuming that's more of like a god power thing, because when he turns back to his human form, he isn't speaking English.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
Oh, what?
He was speaking like whatever that like old Egyptian language was. If you know what it is, don't correct me. I don't care. And there were subtitles on while he was speaking. It was only when he was like in his Black Adam.
Really?
He was speaking quote unquote English.
I didn't notice
or whatever it was. I was assuming that it was probably supposed to be like Arabic or something like that they were speaking. And I don't know. Or maybe not. But yeah, I thought it was weird. Well, I guess it's a movie.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really actually matter if they're actually speaking English or not.
What matters is they're speaking the language that we understand, so we can watch the movie.
Yeah.
Or subtitle it.
Mm-hmm.
No. What else do you got on Black Adam?
One was a question that eventually answered itself as the movie went on.
Okay.
Because there was like, they showed the backstory. It was like the kid that was chosen.
Yeah.
And he got a lot older. And at first, because at the beginning, you could kind of tell that the dad with the kid was The Rock.
Yeah.
You could tell. But I was like, oh, well, maybe he'll
That's supposed to be what he looks like.
Yeah,
later,
that's what I thought. Like, that's just supposed to be what he's going to look like his dad.
Yeah.
That's basically what I thought. And then the whole plot twist thing happened where the son gave the power to his dad.
Yeah.
But it still turned the son older. So I guess that kind of answered my question, because at first I thought it went straight from kid to The Rock. And the kid actually turned into like just a young adult looking man.
Similar to The Rock because of course jeans.
Jeans.
Yeah.
Denim.
And
denim. And but it just made The Rock bigger.
Yeah.
It just made him bigger.
His arms
they had to
bigger.
CGI him so that he looked like a small man.
Yeah. That was the funniest part of the movie.
That was really funny.
What did you think about the Justice Society characters? Because you probably had no clue who they were.
I didn't know who the fuck any of them were. I recognized the actor who played the Hawkman.
Okay.
Was that his name?
Hawkman, yes.
So yes, I recognized the actor from somewhere. I couldn't pinpoint where. I thought that the guy with the helmet was supposed to be like Magneto. But
no,
he's
like the Doctor Strange of DC. I'm pretty sure they made him before. I'm not gonna say that. They always copy each other. So,
yeah, there's parallels.
But yeah, he's supposed to be like Doctor Strange.
And then the Wind Girl, I thought she was interesting. She kind of just like, I don't want to say she was like sidelined, but she like really briefly mentioned her backstory.
Yeah.
And hers, I was like, okay, that I kind of am interested in a little bit, because she just like very nonchalantly to the boy, because the boy was like, well, how'd you get your powers? She was like, I was injected with nanobots by an evil scientist when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like,
classic.
What the fuck? And I also couldn't tell. At first I thought maybe she was supposed to be like Starfire or something, but she wasn't.
Yeah.
Just because of her big red hair, really. But she was cool. And the Atomic Boy, or whatever the fuck his name was, some Atomic. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny. Very awkward. Very obviously flirting with the Wind Girl.
Yeah.
I liked their dynamic. It was funny and like clammy palm feeling, you know what I mean?
Like awkward?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awkward.
Yeah.
I like how at the end he proved himself to Hawkman, because Hawkman fucking hated him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he kept fucking up. It seemed like this was his first mission.
It was.
And
because it was his dad's job before or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Something like that.
And they explained all this really quickly before they
very like nonchalantly, like to the side, just so you understood in the context.
Yeah, and even as people who haven't caught up with DC, or there are comic books that they released for each of these characters.
Really?
To give context to the movie. You don't need any of that.
No.
Yeah, it would be nice to know. And you know what? That origin story for what's her face, the Whooshy girl.
Yeah, the Wind Girl.
Yeah.
I don't
Clearly
know.
we don't remember all their names,
No.
but that's probably mentioned in her comic book. I had to check the store, the one comic store around here, because I got one of them the one time I went there for Hawkman.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing else. And there's like a few volumes for everybody, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, very interesting. Very good movie. Would you recommend anyone go see this in the movie theater, or is this like a wait for HBO? Or
I'd say if you haven't been to the movies in a while, maybe go
yeah
on the matinee night.
It was a fun.
Like,
we went on $7 night.
Yeah, we went on the cheap night. I'd say maybe go see it for that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't see why you couldn't stream it if you already have the service. It's a nice movie to watch. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, it's an entertaining movie.
I'm not gonna say it's in the post-credits scene.
Yeah,
just in case anyone actually cares.
Scene.
But it was only like 2 minutes in. It wasn't at the actual end of the fucking credits.
There weren't two either.
No.
That we knew of.
Yeah, we didn't stay if there was a second one. But it got me very excited. I did clap when a certain character showed up on the screen.
You clapped?
You didn't notice? I was clapping. I was going like...
Oh, that's cringe.
Well, it's because it was that actor.
Yeah.
That I love so much. And I want to watch those movies. I haven't watched any of those ones.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll do it for the pod or not, but...
No, we can, yeah. So, for a movie that we went to go see with no interest in talking about, maybe briefly mentioning on the podcast, we really liked it. Mm-hmm. Lauren, I was still surprised that Lauren, just see her typing in the movie theater. No one was behind us, so...
No, it was pretty empty. Yeah. Oh, and also a funny story about the movie theater, I guess I can tell.
Yeah.
Russell had to go to the bathroom, so he let me buy the tickets and pick out the seats. And I picked out what I thought was the front row, because it didn't say where the screen was. I picked what I thought was the back row.
I'm sure it did. They always do. It's a screen,
I don't know.
exit,
I don't know. But the kid didn't even say anything. It was just like, fucking whatever. And I accidentally picked the front row, but I could tell the movie was going to start soon. So I did not go to the front desk, and we awkwardly sat in someone's seat, and they're like, these are our seats. And I was like, oh, sorry. And then we moved to some seats like on the side.
On the corner.
I liked those seats.
Yeah. They were okay.
Yeah, that's the story. I accidentally picked the front row, and we had to shuffle around until we found someone where we were sitting.
I thought more people were coming to take our new seats at one point, and then I was like, all right, Lauren, you got to go talk to them and be like, look, we need more assigned seats.
Yeah.
That's the last time I'll give you that job.
I was gonna say, I guess I'm not allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Okay, well, we talked about that long enough, I think.
Yep.
We should swap over to our main topic of the day, which Lauren has even more notes for.
Well, a lot of these really are just like observation notes. I'm opening up my notebook. Because I lost my other one. Can't find it. So
Lauren lost the artifact of the podcast.
It'll turn up one of these days.
So
yeah.
Our main feature, I'm just going to talk because you're probably going to do a lot of talking for this one.
That's fine.
Our main movie that we watched this week was Interview with a Vampire, starring Brad Pitt
and Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, young, what's her face?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's girlfriend, Mary Jane Watson.
I know her name.
Oh shit! Oh man, I'm forgetting. Fuck.
I kind of really like seeing her in that though. Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst. Yeah, Kirsten Dunst.
Yeah, I was like, wow, she really looks the same.
And Antonio Banderas. So before we kind of go into the movie, I just want to point out that this movie really ties together the two themes that we had last month. Because not only is it kind of like an October movie,
I guess,
but also it starred Antonio Banderas, who played
Puss.
Who played Puss.
It was also about family.
Boots. Yeah, and in Shrek. So
yeah, Puss. He really does not change his name.
Him.
No,
yeah.
Or not his name, his voice.
I'm a vampire now.
I am a vampire now. I'm not gonna say that.
That's
no,
bad. So we're kind of wrapping it all together. It felt like a very long movie.
It was very long. It was like 2 whole hours.
Yeah. Do you have the IMDb thing for it?
Sure. Okay, this one is it's a sentence.
Okay.
A vampire tells his epic life story. Love, betrayal, loneliness, and hunger.
So, yeah,
That I told you that's a sentence.
this movie felt like it went on for way longer than we expected, or I expected it to.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, what did you like the movie?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was okay.
I liked it. You didn't write anything down. Which
I
is
didn't write
sad.
anything down. I was tired.
Yeah.
I was watching. I was trying to eat. The beginning at least was not a great movie to eat pizza.
No.
No. And yeah, so basically the love part was it between him and Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt?
I think because these are based on books.
Yeah.
In the book, I haven't read the books, but I want
Did
to.
they kiss?
I think in the books it goes into that a lot more.
Oh.
Because it was very
Gay
heavily
vampires.
alluded to in this. Yeah, I actually
Yeah,
wrote
in
down.
the beginning they were so horny for each other.
Yeah.
Like yeah, but then they would always like eat women, like not eat, bite women.
Yeah.
They didn't eat them.
No.
There were a lot of strange rules to the vampires too that I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
One of the major things that I thought was strange is that I'm going to go straight to the end of the movie.
Okay.
That's okay. At the end of the movie, spoiler alert, Tom Cruise bites a guy who's driving a car.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy who interviewed Brad Pitt. I don't even know their names. I'm just saying the actor name.
So Tom Cruise is Lestat, Brad Pitt is Louis.
All right, so Tom Cruise bites the interviewer's name. He bites his name off.
Wow.
He bites his neck while he's driving over the San Francisco Bridge.
Yeah.
And then he starts driving the car. So
yeah, I
thought,
wrote that down too. I was like, was that all true?
So with the rules of vampires that I'm aware of from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, is that vampires from the 1800s don't know how to drive cars.
Yeah.
So they need to get the senator to drive the car for them.
Yeah. Well, we watched
like
that.
Dio.
But there was also the part, like he didn't even know what the helicopter was.
Yeah, like he was like freaking out from the light in the helicopter.
Yeah.
We just go straight to the end of the movie. I love it.
Well, I have a lot to talk about with the other stuff. So.
Okay, let's go. Let's dial it back a little bit.
Okay.
Let's try and be a little stream of consciousness on your billions of things that you wrote down. So
okay, most of the stuff I wrote down was about the historical fashion.
All right, tell me more about that.
It was pretty accurate. Like I could tell, for the most part, like what era they were supposed to have been in before they even said the year.
Yeah, at one point you pointed out the hats.
Yes, in the mid 1800s, going into the late 1800s. Well, I guess it's mostly the mid 1800s. Tall hats, tailcoats, and like those sideburns were very vogue. They were very in style. Why are you looking at your phone?
Sorry. Go on.
But yeah, so just based on what they were wearing, I tell like, oh, this is supposed to be the mid 1800s now.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah,
it was actually late 1800s. Honestly, you were wrong.
I was close. And then even at one point, I could tell that there was like a Regency type dress going on, even though. Well, I guess that's about accurate.
Sure.
Because the movie started in 1791.
Right.
Very typical colonial American vibe because it started in New Orleans.
Yes.
Brad Pitt was a slave owner.
Not cool.
Problematic.
But he wanted to kill himself, so there's that.
Yeah, then he killed himself and he set all his slaves free. Sorry, I'm just reading it. Yeah. When he burned all his house down, he was like, "You're free. Get the fuck out of here. Go."
Free for now.
Free from him at least.
Yeah, from him.
The most interesting part of the historical fashion, though, is with Claudia.
Yeah.
Which was
Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst, yes. And I really loved her character in this. But But the most interesting part was, like, during, like, the turn of the century, like, when it would be, like, the late 1800s-ish, like, when they were in New Orleans, and after she had, like, her huge fit about not wanting to be a kid for forever.
Yeah.
And then when they went to Paris, too, she was still, like, wearing the same stuff. She was wearing adult-style dresses.
Yeah, they would have them tailored for her.
Well,
they kind of showed that.
Well, they did show that, but also the thing is that would have been super fucking weird and super crazy, because kids had their own. There was a fashion for kids. There was a fashion for adults. Teenagers didn't really become a thing until the 1950s, right?
Right.
So, or like the concept of like anything but childhood and adulthood. Right. Adolescence wasn't really a big thing until like the mid 1900s.
Well, maybe that was also to show that she was an adult. She was just stuck in a kid's body.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. It was
manga writers were just taking notes when they saw this. Oh. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the 200-year-old, 12-year-old.
1,200-year-old vampire lolly.
But yeah, if that happened in real life, it would have been really fucking weird. It would have been the equivalent of like a 10-year-old wearing
a suit.
Well, no, I was going to say, like, very revealing adult women's outfits. Like, today, by today's standards, you know what I mean?
Well, that's how it is today.
Stop. Okay, you know what I fucking mean. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't be like that.
The kids out there.
And the only other historical outfit remark that I have was during the scene when they're in Paris.
Right.
With the theater. And they're having the really weird theater performance where it's like this girl is on the stage who obviously is not a part of the play.
Yeah.
And they're like gonna suck her blood or whatever. And they start taking off her clothes.
Her titties come out.
Well, the thing with that is they got the layering of... They were so close to having layering of the outfit correct. But it was wrong. So... Because she wasn't wearing a corset. And in this time, built-in corsets like bodices, like boned bodices, weren't really a thing. At this, like, around then? You don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but
no.
I'm gonna keep talking about it.
I was just looking at some boobies.
So the way the outfit would have worked, because underneath corsets, you wore a shift, which was like a layer of protection under the corset, mostly for, like, sweat and stuff, so it wouldn't come out onto your, like, outer clothes.
Right.
Because you would wear your outer clothes multiple times in a row.
Yeah.
But... You wouldn't, because you wouldn't really wash those unless you had to. It was your underclothes that you washed a lot.
Yeah.
Which at that point would be the shift, and that would under the corset. And then the corset went over the shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, corset on skin, that's a big no-no.
So
there's always a layer under the corset.
So you observed that she wasn't wearing the layer.
Yeah, she wasn't wearing a shift. That thing that they pulled off of her, that looked like it was a corset cover.
Okay.
So the way that works is like there's like the shift and then there's the corset, and then at that point maybe you'd put on a petticoat too, which is just like the waist down, you know.
Yeah.
But a corset cover went over the corset to further protect that from getting any wear and tear. Okay. And also it would help with because like during the Victorian era they were really big into like manipulating what they looked like. Like, they would add padding and stuff to make their chests look bigger. Hip padding has always been a really big thing in, like, historical fashion.
Yeah.
And, yeah. And so, sometimes, like, the corset cover, they would include, like, padding underneath that or on top of that to help give them, like, a more, like, pigeon-shaped look is what they call it.
Oh, like the boobs are, like, huge?
Not huge, like, but just like round.
Long and round? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's a look. That's like Mary Poppins.
Yep. Yeah, just like Mary Poppins.
Like Mary Poppins.
Yeah, and like how it was like kind of baggy in the belly all the time.
Sure.
I don't know. Whatever. That was the silhouette. And and so yeah, basically the thing that they took off of her looked more like a corset cover than it did anything that would have been underneath her clothes. And also there's no corset, which I'm just whatever.
But there were boobies.
There were boobies.
And bush. There's some bush.
There's a little bit of bush.
So I don't think anyone paid attention to that other than you.
Yeah. No, but also I was really impressed with the historical hairstyles. They got all them right on the women in the background.
Yeah.
The one on the stage, her hair was down. I attributed that to mostly just her being in distress. But because women having their hair down all the time really also wasn't a thing until the mid 1900s. The women always had their hair up, and women always had a hat on. Hats,
Always
caps,
had a hat on?
bonnets. Yeah.
Like Taika?
Yeah.
Like Taika Waititi?
Yeah, just like Taika Waititi.
A man of many hats?
Yeah, a man of many hats, just like him.
Oh.
Yeah, but when we're always wearing some sort of hat or head covering or some sort of accessory and their hair was always up, having your hair down was really only something for if you were a kid.
Which? Kirsten Dunst was
Claudia.
a kid.
Yeah.
Claudia.
Yeah, so her hair being down, that was totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's me nerding out on the historical costuming. I thought they did a very good job.
What else you got, Lauren?
I was just gonna say, I wanted to go into like the logistics of him being around for forever.
Okay.
Which is like, so apparently at the beginning he was rich. And I'm assuming he still had most of his wealth after that.
He burned his whole house down.
There are banks.
Okay.
Banks have like always existed.
He couldn't go out in the day.
Yeah.
He was also a vampire. Can I talk about the logistics of the vampires for a second?
I guess I was also gonna go into that, but yeah, you can go for a second.
So they're vampires, right? And at first he's like, "Oh man, I don't want to kill people. I'm just gonna eat all these rats."
Yeah, and birds.
And birds and stuff. And then eventually they move on to people.
Yeah,
course,
he comes around to it.
He comes around to it. But like, how do even back then, how do people not realize what's going on? Why are there all these rats with bite marks in them? Why are all these people mysteriously dying with bite marks in their neck?
Well, the rats remember because the slaves...
rats remember?
No, telling you to remember.
They thought that the slaves...
Well, the slaves thought that Lestat was the one that was evil because when he came in, everything changed.
Oh, yeah.
And, or Tom Cruise, rather, if you want to keep going.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. When Tom Cruise came into the house, that's when everything changed. So they thought that he was the devil.
Yeah.
But it turns out it was Brad Pitt and him.
Devil.
But yeah. And yeah, for the other stuff, I feel like it was mostly just like it was way easier to get away with murder.
Yeah.
And stuff like that a long time ago. And also, like, a lot of the women they drank blood from were sex workers.
And they don't care about them.
And even now, nobody cares.
Especially back then.
Well, back then, there was no census.
Yeah.
If someone went missing, you assumed they just moved to a different town or whatever. Because
or they died.
Or they died, yeah. Nobody
cared.
No.
So, my question is, how, like, this is just one, there's not a sequel. Right?
There are multiple books.
I
think this one kind
of
of like wraps them all together, though.
Yeah, I kind of wonder how they keep going because they're getting close to the modern age.
Well, in the show that's coming out, it's like a retelling of the book story, like starting at the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just felt like there was no way that they could have gotten away with all that. Also, my favorite part of the movie was whenever Tom Cruise would freak out about something or overact.
Yeah.
But one part in particular, when he started burning his house down.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's house.
In New Orleans?
Yeah, he burned his house down, and then Tom Cruise burst through the window like Kramer. And he goes, "Yes, that's what I'm looking for." And then, do you remember that part?
Oh, yeah, when are you talking about when Brad Pitt starts going crazy?
Yeah, Brad Pitt goes crazy, and then
and then Tom Cruise,
he jumps through the window.
I think it was more like an attitude thing. So he's like, "Yeah, now this is what I'm fucking talking about. Yeah, this is how you need to be."
Yeah, it was funny. It was like really like some parts of this movie were hilarious.
Yeah, that is true.
When he had the scythe at the
that was fucking awesome.
That was cool, but it was so like silly.
Yeah,
like the movie was like really sad and dramatic half the time, but then like there was no in between. Like the funny parts were just like really, really goofy.
Yeah,
like really goofy.
Yeah,
it was so strange. What else do you got for me, Lauren?
Well, I guess my main thing was mostly like how does he keep up with his identity changing as time goes on? Especially if it took place in like modern day. Oops, I'm shaking the ground a little bit.
Shook the ground.
I was like tapping to make my point, but like, because even it was like 1980s when it caught up, right?
Yeah.
And so even then it's like, I'm assuming he still has money.
It skipped way too much.
So how does he keep his money? Like, does he have like just a 500-year-old bank account? Or like sirens going by.
Oh yeah.
Very weird
okay.
sirens.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, there goes the fire truck.
It's just like one loud.
Yeah, you can hardly tell it's a siren.
Yeah, that's strange. Okay, go on.
I just wonder the logistics of how he like changes his identity and is able to like keep his money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like, cause
I don't think he needs money. I think he just steals from the people he eats.
You know what? That's a good point.
That might be what he does.
Yeah.
I really wanted to know what he did during the beginning of the 1900s into like maybe like up to the 80s. Like I think that
Do
they
you think
should.
he got drafted?
No. I don't think he's on the books. I think they assumed that he was dead. Remember, his real self died.
Yeah, his real self died, and probably when his house burned down, and
They assumed that he was really dead.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There's a lot of questions that this movie leaves. Like, how did Tom Cruise survive the fire?
Well, there was that, but also, how was the house sitting there the whole time with just Tom Cruise sitting in it, and they didn't mow it over and turn it into something else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it historical?
I mean, everything in New Orleans is historical.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe they thought it was haunted. It had some haunted stuff.
Well, yeah, you could just look at it and tell it was haunted looking.
I don't know. There's a lot going on in this movie. What was the part that confused me is why did they, in like the middle-ish movie part of the movie, when they go to France, and so it just didn't make too much sense to me. So let me just summarize a big part of the story for anyone who hasn't seen the movie. So Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise are chilling, and then they want a daughter or something.
That happens in New Orleans.
Yeah, and they're in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's not that they wanted a daughter. It was Brad Pitt came across this daughter mourning her mother who died of like plague.
The plague.
Yeah. Because there were small plague outbreaks like even after the plague.
And then he bit her.
No, it was supposed to be an act of mercy.
Yeah.
He was killing her from mercy, but he didn't kill her all the way. And so Lestat was like, you either need to finish her off or I'm going to fucking turn her. And even though unbeknownst to them, it was like against vampire law to turn someone so young.
Yeah.
For exactly the reasons that played out.
So eventually, let's just fast forward. So she becomes a vampire.
Yeah.
And then they get rid of Tom Cruise. They say, see you later. We're going to across the ocean.
Yeah.
We need to get away from you. And then they go meet these other vampires and they're like, oh, so why is she so young? And where's this guy? I know him or something like that.
Yeah.
And he goes,
well, because Antonio
actually...
Banderas, he's the one who changed Lestat.
Yeah. Oh, I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Brad Pitt was like, yeah, I fucking murked him because he was fucking strange.
Yeah.
And he turned this little kid and he goes, okay, well, fuck her. And then they take her and...
Yeah, so they want to kill her even though they found like a suitable placement. Yeah. Because like Antonio Banderas gave him a heads up. He was like, I'm like kind of in charge of these people, but they also do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, it was confusing that he wasn't a part of the...
Yeah, it's like he was like, if anyone was a leader, it would be me, but also they do whatever they want, so I can't control them.
Yeah.
And so...
Lo and behold, he doesn't.
Yeah, lo and behold, he doesn't. Yeah. He just, I don't know. He helps
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt is trying to figure out what to do about Claudia, and Claudia is also figuring it out on her own.
Yeah.
Because she found someone who was willing to take her in and, like, be turned so that she could be her vampire mom, because it was, like, very much alluded to, and they kind of showed it a little bit, like, the locket that she pulled out.
Yeah.
Like, that's also kind of a historical thing to carry around.
She wanted her daughter back.
Yeah, her daughter died. Mm-hmm. And, like, people would either carry around small portraits like that or, like, locks of hair and pendants and stuff like that. So her daughter died and looked like Claudia. And so she was like, I'll just take her in as if she were my own, but I also need to be turned. And so they were in the middle of having her turned when like the gang of heresy and vampires showed up, and
they're like, no, fuck you, and they put her in the pit.
Yeah, they put her and the mom in this like pit that had this grate at the top that looked out at the sky. So when the sun rose, they would turn to ash, and that's what happened. And they didn't get there in time.
Yeah.
He didn't even. And then I'm jumping around. Brad Pitt was put in this coffin, like this sealed metal coffin, upside down, and then sealed in a wall, like Cask of Amontillado style. And did you ever read that?
I don't think you got that pronounced right.
I didn't.
Sure.
No, you know what I mean. Though.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And so then Antonio Banderas is finally like, okay, this is wrong. So he goes and he gets Brad Pitt out of the wall, and Brad Pitt's like, where the fuck is Claudia? And when he goes out, it's already nighttime again. So it's way too late to have done anything about it.
And they're ashes.
And they turn to ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that part was super anticlimactic
and
just very random. And it was sad, but
I'm sure it's a bigger thing in the books.
Yeah, it didn't do it just
And then he just kind of moves on.
Another thing I want to point out is every time like the scene changes or things move around or the story progresses, there's a fire.
Yeah, fire's a big
his house
thing.
Gets lit on fire. His other house gets lit on fire when he leaves America, and then when he leaves Paris, he sets the church
Vampires
thing.
on fire.
Vampires, all on fire.
Well, I think it's like very much insinuated that fire is what kills vampires.
Yes.
Because
not Tom Cruise though.
I guess not Lestat. Because Lestat tells Claudia at one point, like, you don't drink the blood of dead people, it'll hurt you.
Yeah.
And so she tricked him into drinking the blood of...
It just kind of hurted him.
Yeah, and it hurted him. It didn't kill him, though. But then they, like, burned him, but that still didn't kill him either. So how the fuck do you kill a vampire?
Chop their head off. That clearly worked.
Maybe chop it off and burn it?
Well, Dio's head was chopped off.
There were a lot of parallels to Twilight in this.
God.
I'm not really going to go into it too much. I guess parallels...
What's a hearing...
more of, like, a... inspiration, I guess, maybe.
Like, what's your vampire power?
That was one thing, like how the vampires all had different powers, but also in Twilight, the way you kill a vampire is you tear them apart and burn the pieces.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's something like that.
It could be.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. There were a few parts that reminded me of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, yeah. Because it's like reverse JoJo if you really think about it. Because they go from America to Europe and then, but he's not on the ship or anything. I thought he was going to be on the ship.
Oh, secretly?
Yeah, but that's what reminded me. Because Dio, when he dies in JoJo, Jonathan chops his head off, but then his head gets taken on the ship. And yeah, because he's a vampire. He can... So really, he probably didn't kill any of those vampires. Well, no, he lit them on fire, so...
Maybe they died. He cut them all off.
There was a
and burned
combo,
them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very, very strange. It seemed like they wanted there to be vampire laws. Rules, I should say.
Yeah, there were rules, at least amongst those vampires, but we never found any other groups of vampires, so we don't know if those are actual rules they're supposed to follow or not.
And it made it seem like they were making up everything as they went on.
That too.
Because the author was like, no, no, it's not garlic. No, they can be super fast. Yeah, but also like some of them can read minds, but others have powers, but they never really talk about what the other powers are. Just reading minds.
Well, and only Lestat could read minds too, it seemed.
Yeah.
It seemed like Claudia had some sort of like manipulation thing that she could do.
Antonio Banderas could read minds.
He could read minds
That's how
too.
I found out about Lestat.
Yeah, I guess
That's how I found out, yeah.
Yeah. Well, because Lestat could read minds too, though.
I think overall, basically, I think what we learned from this movie is that the TV show has a lot of opportunities to go in depth about everything that we thought was strange. At least I thought was. I thought the movie was just like really all over the place.
It was pretty all over the place. It makes me want to read the books because the books were written like a long time ago.
The Vampire Chronicles.
Yeah.
Ooh. So, wow, we are almost at an hour.
This is a very dense episode.
Half of that was talking about fashion. No, it wasn't. Just kidding.
Punch! Punch!
Lauren's hitting me.
Hit! Let me talk about the things I'm passionate about. You do it all the time, and I try not to look bored.
Wow.
Yeah, you were just looking like you didn't know what the fuck. You weren't even trying to understand what I was saying.
I was trying. I was
Okay.
looking. I said all I could remember was boobies.
Wow.
All right, well, this will be the last podcast we ever have. Because apparently I don't listen to Lauren. I was looking at you the whole time. I was like,
You were. I will give you that.
oh yeah, they can't see how hard I'm staring.
Yeah, you're staring so hard.
Oh. Ew. All right, well, that just happened.
Stop saying that, please. You're just slurping your water.
Yeah, how else am I supposed to drink it? Kind of warm.
Ew, you're also holding it.
I am holding the bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and switch topics over.
Yeah.
Let's talk about... Oh, no.
No, I was just going to say, like, scale 1 to 10.
How much did I like the movie?
Yeah.
6.
6?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just curious. I give it like an 8.
Okay. All right. Numbers are good.
Yeah.
Okay, Lauren, what is your screenless shout out?
Screenless shout out time.
You didn't think of one, did you?
I was trying so hard. I guess the closest thing to a screenless shout out that I could get is something that had to do with work, which is kind of exciting. So I've mentioned it before. I work in a quilt shop now.
Right.
And they also sell lots of other local handmade goods.
Okay.
And they're like commissioning me to make some handmade stockings to sell in the store for the Christmas season. Ew. Russell's making a really weird
I'm
face.
making sure you know I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Engaged in the conversation.
Okay.
No, not to another woman. That'd be weird.
I was gonna say we're not even engaged. How are you already engaged to someone else?
Well, sorry.
Oh, I guess this is the last episode, everyone.
Yep.
Ew. Making scary faces now. So, anyways, I'm making stockings for work, and I'm gonna be working on that this week.
Ooh.
And I'm also working on a baby blanket for my cousin who is pregnant. Again, the first blanket I ever made was actually for her first baby.
Yeah.
And now she's pregnant again 2 years later, and I'm making a very intricate one.
Yes, you are.
It's birds.
Okay.
That's it. My screenless shout out is sewing stuff again.
That's awesome.
What's your screenless shout out?
What is my screenless shout out?
You didn't think of one either.
I didn't think of one either.
No.
I thought I would have a really good one this week. But man, you know what? I did have one.
Oh! We should talk about the trick-or-treating.
Yeah, my screenless shout out is trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treating.
We did trick-or-treaters for the first time ever at our apartment.
So our apartment's kind of like a converted house type thing.
Yeah.
And so you can't really come to our front door properly. So we were sitting out on the steps of our building and handing out candy to people passing by.
Right.
I was dressed as a banana.
I dressed up. I wore my Russell Wilson jersey.
Yep. And we had a bucket. We got full-size candy bars.
Yeah, they went on sale because the next week came over and they did trick-or-treating on Monday the 31st, but like at Costco they already discounted all the candy. And I was like, I'm just gonna be the cool guy, but none of the kids seemed to care.
None of the kids cared that much. I feel like the parents
were probably like, oh, those are for me.
Yeah, they were like, hell yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it was a big turnout.
Yeah, really
Kids
big turnout. We
showed up in our neighborhood.
We had 60 candy bars altogether, and we kept 4 for ourselves. So there's 56 in the bucket. And we, simple math here, everybody, keep up. And we not sold out. We handed them all out. Yeah. Like within an hour. So we're gonna have to get more next year if we want to do it the full 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because more kids were coming around by the end. Mm-hmm. It seems like it was just a slow start, but it picked up really fast. And We also handed out 2 candy bars to kids who were just in Fortnite costumes.
Yeah.
Who did a dance. We said, if you do a dance, you can get 2.
If you do a Fortnite dance, you get 2.
And they did. And there was also a pair of kids dressed as Naruto and Kakashi.
And they did the run.
And they ran. I said, if you Naruto run up here, you can get 2 candy bars. And they did. And it was epic.
I was just so surprised there were so many kids because you never see any of them like outside.
No, I feel like they're mostly from like the whole neighborhood. Like there's not that many kids that live up on our part of the street.
Yeah.
I see them when the bus comes by on the corner.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of them probably live down in those other apartments.
Maybe. But yeah, that was fun. Like, it would, like, I kind of like not having to keep opening the door.
Yeah, it was nice just sitting on the step. I feel like next year it'd be better if we did like lawn chairs though.
Yeah.
Or something.
Because my ass hurt.
Our asses hurt, and we're also in the way of the front door.
Yeah.
Not that many people are coming in and out, but like our neighbor was walking his dog, and we like got out of the way so he could walk in and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think next year we're gonna do lawn chairs. I'd like to have a little bit more of an intricate setup, if just for like the 2 hours that we're out there.
Yeah. It was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Nice way to wrap up trick-or-treating season.
Yeah.
We had to throw out the pumpkins.
Yeah, our good screen pumpkin looks kind of sad.
The good screen pumpkin has like a dent in the back.
Yeah, the face over here
is getting sad. Yeah, so I guess it's over. Halloween is officially over.
Halloween's over. Christmas has begun.
Yeah, so...
For most people. We don't put up our decorations until Black Friday.
We might have to do it earlier this year because of our Christmas card needs to go out early.
Yeah, we are sending out Christmas cards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll at least put the tree up or something.
Yeah. Yeah, that's my screenless shout out, I guess, is trick-or-treating. There was something else I know. We need to start having meetings before the podcast. Be like, all right, so...
We need to figure this out.
We need to figure it out. We need to keep our segments alive.
Yes. Wasn't there another segment we talked about doing?
No. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Not on the podcast.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so yeah, we have, I guess after today, we're back to... No, wait. No. I guess we're back to 1 a week now, because this is uploading on a Monday.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to keep doing Mondays, because that gives us all weekend to record and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, this weekend I was away.
Yeah.
So I had to literally just come back home to record this, and edit it, and then go back to dog sitting.
Dogs.
So that won't be a problem later on. So yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for watching. We still wound up making about an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
If you enjoy our podcast, you can go on Spotify and give it 5 stars.
Mm-hmm.
You can go on Apple Podcasts and you can hit 5 stars and you can review the podcast.
Yeah.
You can go on YouTube and like the video.
Leave a comment.
And leave a comment. Oh shit! We didn't read comments.
Do we have comments?
I don't have my phone on me. Let me check my YouTube studio.
Okay.
Last I checked, we didn't have any comments. I don't know if we scared our viewers away by making fun of them too much. But do we have a comment?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, we have a comment, but I don't know what this was talking about from the second episode of the podcast. So, yeah, I'm going to let that one go until I realize what he was talking about. Mm-hmm. So, that's pretty much it. I guess we'll close it off there. Remember to leave a comment on YouTube and like it on YouTube. I think that helps people see the videos. I also realized something about the YouTube uploads. Like, yeah, I'm uploading them to the Isha Gaming Discord. But, I'm not tagging the videos. Am I supposed to be tagging the videos?
Yes.
I don't tag them.
No, add tag is what we're talking about. Add a tag for like podcast. Add a tag for like
funny.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Stupid.
Yeah, I don't do tags.
Yeah, what the heck?
Yeah.
Because tags are what like if you look
like
up
the search engine.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah.
We'll
maybe I should do that. I just thought like the name was. I thought the tags were integrated in like the title.
No.
Yeah.
I think you should add that all separately.
Okay, well, maybe I'll start doing that. Yeah, so that pretty much wraps up our episode on Interview with a Vampire. This is episode 17. I was just looking at the YouTube studio. I should know this. 17? Remember when we get to 25, we'll do another live.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this will be 17.
17, yeah. So, yeah.
17 again with Zac Efron.
Oops. Another one we fucked up.
Another missed opportunity.
You can either take the red pill, which is V for Vendetta, or the blue pill, which is 17 Forever with Zac Efron.
Leave a comment if you take red pill or blue pill.
I would take the blue pill.
I would too.
All right, well, now you know at least 2 movies we'll watch eventually.
Maybe.
So maybe next 5th of November,
There we go.
we should upload 17 Forever.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, see you later, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.